What's up, everybody? My name is Gordon. I'm working on a series of videos here using Google Sheets and Polar Team Pro, and I'm going to show you guys how to put together a game load or a game score, training load, whatever you want to use to quantify your practices and your trainings. So let's go ahead and get started. This demonstration will be geared towards basketball measurements and movements, but you can use Polar Team Pro for practically any sport other than something like swimming. And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe this video for more content coming soon. Basically going to try to put together an entire series on how I created my player load dashboard to present to my coaches. The first thing you need to do is determine your key performance indicators, or what aspects of your sport will contribute to fatigue levels. And so whatever those aspects are, or actions, you need to make sure that your sport profile in your Polar needs to mimic that. So if I come over here, I'm gonna hit this little wheel up here, go to sport profiles, I'll click basketball, edit. And this is what I use primarily. So I use different speed zones. Right here, I'm only calculating zone 5. Zone 5 is going to be anything over 13.7 miles per hour. So when somebody has the Polar on and they are running or they're sprinting and they get up to something above 13.7 miles per hour, Polar will track how long they are running that fast. Hopefully that makes sense. My two other ones, I'm going to track accelerations that are greater than 2.5 meters per second squared and decelerations that are greater than minus 3.0 meters per second squared. Hopefully that makes sense, because if you're slowing down, your velocity is becoming more negative. That's deceleration. Once you know what you're going to measure, you need to download your reports from Polar Team Pro. So if I come over here, hit activities, I'm going to select a random one from, let's go December 15th. Let's pick out this 10-minute practice here. And then I go up top and I'm going to export. Over here under players, I can choose how many players I want to export. You can choose specific phases. So if you want to break your practices down live by certain drills, that's what I do. You can go ahead and do that there. And then over here for basketball, for what I use, I select my player's name. I select the phase name. I'm going to select total distance, distance and speed zone, and then number of accelerations. Once I'm done that, I'll hit export. Give it a second. There goes the file. After that, I'll come over here. I'll hit file, import, go to upload. I'll go over to my files. It's the most recent one. I'll drag it and drop it. Once that's done, I'll create a new sheet. Very, very important. Hit import data. And then I typically just name this file whatever day it is. Once I have my data uploaded, I need to trim it. So I'm going to expand this so I can see all the numbers there. And then I'm going to look through here. There's speed zone 1, there's speed zone 2, there's speed zone 3, there's 4, and here's 5. And this is just for the whole session here. I don't have it all the way broken down, but I'm going to get rid of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just delete those columns. I want to keep track. Here's my accelerations, or this is actually that's my deceleration right there. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to go over to the next one, and I'm going to highlight all the way across to the very last one. Delete those. Now I'm left with the training aspects I really care about: total distance, speed zone 5, deceleration zone 4, acceleration zone 4. Okay, so now that I have my data that is trimmed up, I'm going to come over to the next column, and I'm going to type in Gameload. So right here in this column, I'm going to create game scores for this total session for each player down the list. And so it's really, really important that whenever you choose a formula, it is consistent. It doesn't necessarily have to be accurate, but it needs to be consistent and reliable throughout your entire season or however long you're measuring. You can make changes, but I would not do them in the middle of the season. It's really, really hard and tedious to go back and make those adjustments. So to start, I'm gonna hit equals, open parenthesis, hit my distance, multiply that by 1, close it. Oh, I need an extra parenthesis here. Double parenthesis to start, hit your distance, multiply it by 1 because it's the least stressful. You're gonna add open parenthesis and go right down the line, speed zone 5, multiply it by 3 in this situation because it's the third most stressful in my opinion. Close parenthesis. Next one. Open parenthesis. Decelerations. This is the most stressful aspect in basketball, so I multiply it by 4 plus open parenthesis accelerations. Multiply that by 2. I'm going to close all that together because I want everything to add here first before I divide by 100. Hit enter. And then you can fill that. There you go. That's what a game score looks like. I like to use 1 decimal, but you can use however many you want. This is just like a 17-minute session or something like that. So the athletes only calculated very, very minimal yardage, but this can easily get up into the thousands, 3,000, 4,000. I have players that hit 8,000. That will dictate roughly what the game score will be. Now, based on position, you'll have different guards and posts that have different abilities to calculate, distances and high speed zones. Those will add on top of your game score, and so on and so forth with every single one. This concludes part 1 of this series here. Be on the lookout for part 2. I'm going to be creating a full database and show you guys how to create a player load management dashboard using acute chronic workload ratio. If you haven't heard of that, please check out Tim Gabbitt's stuff all over the internet. He has some really great articles. But until then, if you have any questions or anything like that, as far as just being able to create the game load, this arbitrary number here to quantify your practices and training loads, please feel free to shoot me an email or DM. Check out my website, winby50, my contact information is on there and more blurbs about what I do. And so that's it. Peace.